Hi you guys! Today we have another cocktail in our Thanksgiving cocktail series. This one is a little different. It admittedly was a little scary for me when I started doing some experimenting, but just hang in there till the end. I really think you're gonna like this one. It's a savory drink. When I say savory, I mean like every herb in your kitchen. Maybe not every, there's like two, but still in all, bear with me guys. The first thing you're gonna need is to do some homework in the kitchen. So what you're gonna want is, I used a mason jar. This is a really great way just to measure. But what I did is I went to my local Ralph's and I bought a 3.5 ounce container of these the shiitake mushrooms. What I did is I sliced all those mushrooms up. So again, the 3.5 ounce container, that's gonna be key. Slice them all up, put them in a mason jar, and then I put probably about 1.25 cups of gin. No particular brand in general, but you're gonna want a relatively neutral gin. You don't want a super cucumber one or a heavy junipery one. Every gin's gonna have juniper notes, but this is gonna be the base. And so this is gonna be pretty savory, pretty mushroomy. You're gonna add the gin over top of the mushrooms, put a lid on it, stick it in your fridge, and let it infuse for a day. And what you're left with is this gorgeous mushroom gin. Don't give up on me yet, hang in there. For those of you who don't like mushrooms, this is worth it to try. Obviously, there's not a ton of gin left in this container because I've been experimenting and playing around this week. But what's left is what we're gonna get to play with today. So we've got our gin. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna make a thyme simple syrup. So for those of you who have tuned into my other cocktails involving making syrups, this is a 1-to-1 simple syrup. And then I dissolved sugar and water in a sauce pot on the stove. Doesn't take too long, just constantly mixing. And then I threw in probably about 7 sprigs of thyme, let it sit and get all mellow. And then you've got a very thymy syrup. Thyme is really powerful. We're not going to use a ton of this syrup in the cocktail, but it does lend some really lovely notes that I think kind of help tie everything together. I'm going to use some lemon juice for acidity, a sage leaf for an extra herbal note. I've got my sage and my thyme here. These will come in handy for your garnishes later. And then we've got some bitters. These are the TNT Bitters Company bitters. They're Alibi aromatic and citrus bitters. I am a sales rep for TNT. This is a company that I believe in so strongly. My dear friends, Anna and Mike, run this company. They founded it. They're based in Cambridge, New York, and I've never met two people who put more passion into their craft than Anna and Mike. This business is so very special to me. Their product is unmatched. Their bitters do tend to be a little bit more on the bitter side, but the flavor, it's wild, guys. So if you're interested in ordering some bitters, hit your girl up. I've got a discount code for you. You want to get in on these TNT bitters. So they're going to come to play too. And then we've got an egg white for mouthfeel, texture, and it's just gorgeous. So we're going to start with about 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. Go. Set that off to the side. I'm gonna do about 1/2 ounce of the thyme syrup. Don't worry if you get a couple of thyme leaves in here. They will strain out later. 1/2 ounce of the syrup. Then you're gonna wanna come in with 1 sage leaf. Make it a good one. Make it a nice, good, big, healthy one. Sage leaf. aside. You can tear it up if you want. You don't have to, but I like to. Then you're gonna wanna come in with 2 ounces of your mushroom gin. I love mushrooms, guys. And even if you don't like mushrooms, I know that this is probably looking really scary. Give it a try. Half the fun in the kitchen, I think, is experimenting and seeing what you like that maybe you didn't know that you liked. And the other half the fun is having absolutely terrible experiments go horribly, horribly wrong. Not in any drastic way, but like, wow, that tastes terrible. This, I promise you, does not taste terrible. But the moral of the story is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to play around in the kitchen, guys. Last but not least, almost last but not least, we're gonna throw in a couple dashes. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so excited about this cocktail. I'm gonna do about 3 dashes of the Alibi Bitters. A heavy 3. There we go. And then 1 egg white. Crack that into a separate tin. Make sure you don't get any bits of shell or yolk in there. Just use your hands. That works too. I've seen them do this on TV. Just make a huge mess. That's the other part of the fun. Just making a big mess. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Rinsed off that egg white. And now, this is a very labor-intensive drink in the sense that we're gonna shake it 3 times. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a dry shake. Get everything really nice and frothy. You're gonna wanna do this for probably about a minute. So settle in, get comfy. We're whipping up some drinks, some savory, umami, mushroom stuffing, mushroom gravy. Like, when I was designing this Thanksgiving series, just turned on the dishwasher. I really need to learn how to edit these videos. Anyway, when I was designing this cocktail series, I said to myself, I need some savory notes. I can't have this whole series be sweet. Dessert drinks, some sweet ones for sure, but not all of them. How can I do that? And there's a number of ways. That is looking frothy. Let's get some ice and then I'll continue my story. And one of the ways that you can make savory drinks is, like I said, just play around. So, you know that there are some savory foods that are part of your Thanksgiving table that you love? Think about how you can extract those flavors and turn them into cocktails, right? That's gonna be the basis of your creativity. That's gonna be your base. And then from there, you can pull complementary flavors and ideas and smells that will round out the drink in a way that all of a sudden it's not like you're drinking a turkey, but you're drinking something savory, something umami that is totally different, totally totally unique. So what I just did is I shook the drink with ice to make it cold. Now I'm gonna strain it back into the tin, dump the ice, and then give it a dry shake one more time, just to froth up those egg whites just a little bit more. Make sure you get all of that egg white goodness out of your shaker tin. You want all of that. Still? All right. That's enough. Dump that ice back in. clean up any dripping down the side because you don't want to get that all over you. Give it one last shake. Nice. And then, this ideally would go into like a martini or a coupe. You can use whatever you would like. I forgot to get a glass. One day I'll learn transitions. Today's not that day. Then you're just gonna strain it in. If you want to double strain this, you totally can, so you don't have those little bits of herbs. That's a personal preference. It personally doesn't bother me to have a couple little herby bits down there. But some people, and especially if you were doing this as a cocktail for like a restaurant, you'd probably want to strain them out just so you really get that perfect mouthfeel. Look at that, you guys. To garnish this, I would recommend either a piece of lemon peel, or you could do a really nice sage leaf or a sprig of thyme across the rim of the glass. You have tons of options there, whatever is going to suit you best. Rules are, there are no rules. I probably would lean more towards the sage or the thyme for aesthetic reasons. However, the lemon peel, a little bit of fresh lemon peel expressed over the top, that would really help that lemon pop. So what you could do is you could zest the peel, squeeze it, and then dump it, and then just put the herbs on top too. So you got options. Get creative. If you like things extra herby, use some extra herbs. So this is our beautiful, lovely cocktail. It smells really good, guys. It is savory and salty and creamy, but not in a weird way. I really like this, guys. I really, really like this. I think you will too. I know that mushrooms and herbs, especially savory herbs in the kitchen, can sometimes be a little intimidating. Give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So, cheers. Another drink in the Thanksgiving series. Enjoy, you guys.